the Attunement Emissary Legacy series. My name is Gary Goodhue, and I will be your host. In this episode, we're going to be exploring Chapter 3 of 7 Steps to the Temple of Light by Uranda. The chapter is titled Realization, and it follows chapters 1 and 2, titled Patience and Tranquility. Now, there are 4 paragraphs inside of this chapter, and the second one is pretty short. It's actually just a long sentence. And the last paragraph is quite long. And it's a funny thing, actually, about Uranda. He's kind of known for long sentences. Just extremely long, run-on sentences with lots of commas and semicolons. And it works, however he does it, because it is one continual long flow of thought with one point connecting and moving into the next point. But it's an interesting thing when actually reading his written word. And this chapter is a powerhouse. It is chock full. And I'm so excited to just jump right in, starting off with the first paragraph of Chapter 3, Realization. Realization relates to the spiritual expression nature of the outer man. In realization is recognition of that which is. In realization, there is a perfect letting go, for in this state, the Blessed One ceases to want anything whatsoever, and of desire there is none. Herein there is no effort to strive or struggle or climb, for the Blessed One does nothing for reward. When nothing is done to attain a so-called good reward, or to avoid a so-called evil result, the Blessed One does all things for the pure love of responding to the inner urge, considering not that which shall be, but abiding always in a realization of that which is. So I want to start off here with this first paragraph. In fact, the very first line of this paragraph. Realization relates to the spiritual expression nature of the outer man. And if we rewind through the previous 2 chapters and reread the first sentence of each chapter, this is how it goes with Chapter 1, Patience. Patience relates to the physical nature of the outer man. And in Chapter 2, the first sentence, tranquility relates to the mental nature of the outer man. And here in Chapter 3, realization relates to the spiritual expression nature of the outer man. And this relates to one of the beautiful teachings that Uranda has around what he calls the 3 planes of existence. And it's the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual expression plane. And so he's got these first 3 steps inside of the 7 steps to the Temple of Light. And they're correlating with the 3 planes of existence, the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual expression plane, in relationship to the outer man. And the outer man is essentially our body and our personality, our identity, our human self that we know ourselves as, our outer consciousness of a human being. And so patience relates to letting go of our need for anything outside in the physical world to be a certain way. And tranquility relates to the mental nature, our thoughts and attitudes, and how we relate to the world in that way, and whether we're able to hold stillness and peace within our mind. And so now, realization is relating to our spiritual expression nature. And I would imagine the spiritual expression nature is like the inner self, the soul, the wonderful one within that presence of connection. But this specific step that he's referring to is that level of the nature of the outer man, because this is a evolution, a process, 7 steps that the outer man goes through in a full oneness attainment, realization of the Temple of Light within one's own self. And so further into this first paragraph, Uranda is saying that in realization is a perfect letting go. And there is no space anymore for need, want, desire, no effort, no striving, struggling, nothing. Because everything is fully recognized as being sourced from within. And any action that is taken is no longer motivated by getting a reward or avoiding a bad result. The whole pain and pleasure as a motivation is gone in realization, because the pure love of responding to the divine self within provides everything that is needed. Next paragraph. In realization, the Blessed One is fully aware that all things necessary to the outworking of the perfect plan are already provided in every detail. This single sentence is mind-blowing. It's so important. Just imagine being fully aware that everything required for a perfect outworking, a perfect manifestation of life, is already present and it's already in process. The level of trust, the release of worry and anxiety and fear and concern. I can't help but think about this when I look out into the world, because there are so many things that are easy to see, that are easy to judge as broken and not working and wrong, causing pain and discomfort and disconnection and death and destruction all around the world. And so it's really difficult to grasp the understanding that everything is perfect and perfectly playing out, and everything that's needed to fulfill whatever perfect plan that's happening is already there. It's just tough to see. But that's because I have my own ideas about what that perfect plan is. I have all my own perceptual judgments. And in reality, I have no idea. I have no idea the state of everything in creation. I don't know what it takes to move to this next higher level. I'm not even completely sure all of what that higher level is or what it looks like. I'm only sure that I probably have limitations existing in my consciousness about what's possible. And so if I can find that space of letting go of my own concern and upset and judgment and worry and anxiety over the way things are, and my own projection of ideas of where I think that they're heading, and just let go, relax, trust, and fall into a faith that there's a perfect plan and it's working out exactly as it should. Next paragraph. All the wisdom required by the Blessed One now is, and is instantly available from within. So also all power now is, all knowledge now is, all substance now is. All required things now are, for all things are provided already from the foundation of the world, and there never was a time since the world began when they were not. What a beautiful display of infinite and eternal, and all of it being available within. So our connection to the divine source within us is instantly available, and within it is all power, all knowledge, all substance. What is all substance? All creative potentials for creation. Anything that could ever be wanted, known, experienced, it's all available right now, and it always has been since the beginning of time. The foundation of the world. It's difficult to comprehend because we're coming from a consciousness that has embraced this time-space structure as reality. And the entire idea of infinite and eternal always is, never not was, without birth, without death, simply existing. That's just not the human experience. However, it is the divine experience that is found within the human. and through realization get to touch into that. And by so doing, we gain access through the wonderful one within. The blessed one who's willing to go there within themselves can receive all the wisdom, all the power, knowledge, substance, everything required for full creation to be able to make all things new, essentially. It is the creative power of the Creator that can move through and make all things new, which is, of course, just a theory until we've entered into that state of realization of knowing. Next paragraph. In realization is the absolute awareness of the presence of the wonderful one within. Realization reveals the truth that in the presence all things are. Realization of the presence proves the truth that sets men free. Realization is the way of perfect freedom in the presence, wherein there is no lack nor limitation. Realization knows and knows that it knows, and thereby does it allow the Blessed One to be uplifted into absolute assurance. He who lets go to the spirit of the words, "Be still and know that I am God," is he who finds realization expanding through himself from the wonderful one within. He who looks within himself without wavering, in one-pointed letting go, depending on no source but the one within, free of all external attachments, enjoying and giving thanks for all things, letting love radiate in every thought, word, and deed, directed by the one in true service, is he who experiences realization. For this is illumination, and the fruition thereof is I am that I am. He who is one with the wonderful one within, who is the one, in whom the responding one becomes I am, thereby experiences the realization of his rightful place and function in the cosmic plan under I am that I am, who has sent him. So in this paragraph, right here at the end, it definitely has these tones of Moses from the Bible energy, of I am that I am, as the answer for who do I tell them that sent me. This entire chapter has this feeling of coming face to face with God. I love how Uranda writes, as what he's doing is making no mistake that anyone have any other understanding except that coming face to face with God is within yourself. It is the presence of the wonderful one within. And this realization, without doubt, knowing the reality of God, knowing from experience, direct experience. He uses the phrase, "Be still and know that I am God." For only through the stillness can we move our attention inward enough. Uranda writes, "He who looks within himself without wavering, one-pointed letting go, depending on no source but the one within, free of all external attachments, enjoying and giving thanks for all things, letting love radiate in every thought, word, and deed, directed by the one in true service, is he who experiences realization." This is like a checklist of ascension requirements. Looking within ourselves, staying focused, staying committed on that inner connection, letting go of any dependency on outside sources for anything, letting go of giving up our attachments that keep us tied into the external world as a source of cause, and then enjoying, experiencing joy for the world, giving thanks for all things, constantly in this space of appreciation and gratitude and joy, without letting yourself be dragged down into a lower emotional space because something outside happened that you didn't like or that you didn't think was part of the plan that you think it should be. And the last two pieces he has here on his checklist, that's what I'm calling it, is letting love radiate in every thought, word, and deed, so that we are a machine of loving expression, constantly aware of every thought that is moving through our mind and letting that be a thought of love. Aware of every word that we speak onto another person so that they uplift and our words could never cause harm with another. And that our actions are always of giving service, making everything better than how we found it, and spreading love one act of kindness at a time. And his very last point here, directed by the one in true service. And the entire idea of giving up and letting go of our own will and agenda and thoughts and ideas that we have to be the driving force in everything in our lives, and to surrender to the guidance that's available. Embracing higher guidance, embracing divine direction. And that leads to oneness, a merging oneness with the wonderful one within. I love the very last part of this last sentence where he says, thereby experiences the realization of his rightful place and function in the cosmic plan under I am that I am. And I just invite everyone to take a moment sometime and meditate on that. Your own rightful place and function in the cosmic plan. I think that as we meditate on that space within ourselves, knowing that the wonderful one within, our own divine presence that exists inside of each of us, has a space where we can know the truth of our own rightful place and function in the cosmic plan. And I just want to remind everybody that we're not even halfway through this entire text. Next week, we'll be exploring Chapter 4, Assurance. Uranda is going to take us even further into this divine attunement with Source Creator within. It's been such a pleasure to explore these things with all of you together in this way. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave a comment underneath. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We know what we express, and we are the ones bringing forth a new reality. So like, share, and I just leave you with a blessing. May you attune to the highest, maintain a vibration of love, and uplift your world by blessing all. Until the next time.